Welcome back and thanks for watching the Rural Project. In this video you'll see me install this simple retaining wall using hardwood sleepers. So I marked out all the hole positions, and with an auger attached to an excavator I augered 250mm diameter holes and roughly a metre deep. These holes would be used for the support posts, which would be used to hold the retaining wall up. As you can see, these holes are nice and neat holes. The way that I got them as neat as this was a tip that I learned previously. Add a little bit of water as you're augering, and you end up with a much cleaner hole. You seem to have less of the sides falling in. Once all of the holes were in and I'd cleaned up the bottom of the holes and I was happy with each of the positions of them, I set about installing the posts. So I simply dropped the post into each hole and then started a backfill process. So I'd hold the post vertical using a spirit level, and then backfill with soil and tamp the soil around the post, locking it in place. I then repeated that process for the remainder of the post until I had a complete straight line of posts in place, and I checked that with a string line as I was going. Once that was complete, I then went and marked the position of where the beams needed to be on the posts. The reason I needed to do that is this retaining wall actually needed to be at a set height, and that set height was in relation to where the shed was going to go. So there's a lot of things all coming into place here, but so I marked on the post where the beams needed to go, and then went through and just cleaned up the soil between each of the posts so that the beams could drop into place. Once we'd done that, set about bringing in the beams and fixing them in place. Because all the soil was going to be on the back side of the beams, actually pinning them to the post, I simply put a couple of screws in to hold them in place. Again, you see the string line there, just ensuring that all of the beams are set at the right height. Once the first beam was in place, as you can see here, I came back and started to cut down the posts. And then it was a case of repeating that process, bringing in more beams, setting them to the correct height, fixing them in place. What I did, just to tidy it up a little bit, where I had the step in height, I actually chamfered the edge of the beams back slightly, just to give it a bit of a neater look. Again, cut the post down when I'd finished, and then started the backfill process. At the end here, I'd actually left a gap on purpose because I had quite a nice looking tree trunk that I wanted to drop into that spot as a bit of a feature. So again, dug that out by hand, and managed to drag and roll and push and shove a tree trunk into position, and lock it in place once I started doing the backfill with all the soil. The backfill process took quite a while. I was actually trying to tidy up this whole area, and this sort of raised garden bed in this area was now complete. So use the opportunity to bring in any of the loose soil that I had from other areas, put it in position, and level it off as best I could, making the soil contour and matching the step down in the retaining wall height. And when I'd finished, it was a very nice, neat and simple retaining wall with everything backfilled and a raised garden bed in the background. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and click the little bell so that you get reminders of any new videos that I post. Thanks for watching.